Hey everyone, this is Frugal Panda here. I thought I'd do a video and because I travel a lot, I love to do road trips, things of that nature, and I thought I want to do a video on like safety. I do a lot of road trips, not just like small ones. I'll sometimes hop on the road and go 1,000 miles, things like that. I think this would be beneficial to, all types of people, people of color, women, men, whomever. I definitely, I think coming from a person of color's perspective, I think some things we may not be aware of, it may help us be aware no matter what our backgrounds are, where we come from, what we look like. Just, I think good things that I've learned over the years as I travel. Um, Real quick background about me, ex-army, military. I've worked 20 years in lockdown facilities, orderly, basically be kind of like my job title is adjudicated youth, sex offenders, yada, yada, yada. I've worked with them. I love to travel, blow off steam. I'm starting to slow down as I get older and really just trying to enjoy life more instead of just working all the time. As anybody who works in healthcare knows, you always have a job. Therefore, you can always work, you always do overtime, you need a second job, whatever, but there's more important things than just working all the time. Anyway, one of the first things I would recommend people do is plan out the route you're going to take, know where you're going, know where you're going to stop for gas. I stick to Flying J's and like Mothers and all that just because as a person of color, and this is not a knock on all small towns, but I also grew up in a small town, and depending on where you're at, some small towns are different than others, let's be honest, and deal with a lot of issues in those towns, from drug addiction to, loss of jobs, loss of population, people that don't get out and really get anywhere. Go anywhere, so they get most of their information about other people from online, unfortunately, or from the news or whatever. So what I do is I would find like a Flying J's or Mothers. You're a single driver, you're by yourself, or you're with your family or whatever. You go there, they always have food, they got showers, fairly clean bathrooms, private showers, by the way, you pay a fee. Same as Mothers, and there's some others too. You'll see all types of people there, very diverse, truck drivers, people of all complexions and colors and ethnic backgrounds. There's traveling, they stop at them. I stay away from small town gas stations, especially at night. There's really no reason to go to them for me, honestly. I'd rather go to a Mother's or a Flying J just because they might have hot food. They may have, I try to slow down on the fast food, but they may have hot food for me if I need a Wendy's or I need something else to get me going, or I need a shower, if I'm got my van and I'm trying to do a little bit of van camping or van life, and just because it's safe, and if you're really tired, a lot of them will let you, stay in the parking lot, go buy something, get gas. And sometimes a lot of the bigger ones are patrolled, or they're a lot safer. Truckers a lot of times aren't going to mess with places that aren't safe or they don't feel comfortable. And bigger gas stations want truckers' money and people that are transportation workers' money. So they try and make it very convenient for them. Therefore, if they make it convenient for them, they're going to make it convenient for everyone else. Another thing with, so you planned out the route you're going to be taking. So I'm from Indiana, so you'll hear me say route and route and all the time. It's taken years to try and get over it saying that. So let's talk about an awareness. Awareness is just a real quick example. I was driving to Indiana and I had to stop for gas, and it was in East St. Louis. Not a knock on East St. Louis, it's just how it was. 1:30 in the morning, I was 26, 27 years old, fairly fresh out of the military. Had a brand new Z28 convertible. Pretty good car for a young man back then. And stopped at a gas station, tons of people out yelling loud, it looked like someone was trying to fight. My awareness, it doesn't matter if I had it, I had a gun on me. Why put myself in a situation, our deal with some people, I'm like, oh, that's a cool car, yada, yada, yada. This was a very poor area. Or it could have been something different. You see my plates, I'm out of town, and other scenarios. So let's not get into that. So I hopped right back on the highway and waited till I got outside of East St. Louis, riding on fumes, and went to a bigger gas station and got gas. That was me not planning out the way I was going to take and where I was going to stop, but I was also fairly young too. Um, an awareness. You get to a place, always scan your environment, see who's around you. Okay, I got a family over there. I got older couple there. I got 5 guys with Confederate flags, hooping and hollering with open beers over there. And I have a nice vehicle, and I'm by myself. Doesn't mean they're there to ruin my time, but anyone knows you get 4 or 5 guys together, even with men, 4 or 5 guys together drinking that aren't, and if they're not very good people, they're going to say something. Would they say it by themselves? No. But 4 or 5 people together drinking and all that, everyone gets that courage. So let's not put ourselves in that situation, but keep an awareness. I'm not going to let them ruin my vibe, ruin what I'm doing, but know where they're at, have me a plan of action, how I'm going to deal with things, things of that nature. So scanning your surroundings, go to a camping spot, it doesn't feel right, move out. Just like that. If it doesn't feel right, or you don't like your neighbors, they're drinking or whatever, yelling, all that, is that the place you really want to camp? You probably find another place, or you can try and stay. But if you're by yourself, use common sense. I tell people, don't start anything. Don't be a problem. Don't put yourself in situations with idiots either. They have nothing to lose, and that's just how it is. Personal protection. And I'll talk real quick about guns. Yes, I carry a gun. When I'm camping, hiking, doing road trips, I have a gun with me. It's just how it is. I'm not telling you to do that. You do what's comfortable for you. I'm not for or against. You make that decision for yourself. But if you do make that decision, make sure you're putting in the practice. You have common sense. You're getting a gun, or a gun that is applicable to your needs. Don't get a 45 or whatever, and you're 90 pounds and you've never shot a gun before. You don't need big old guns or anything like that. Let's not talk too much about it, but I do have one. I do have many, or not many. I have quite a few, but I'm not a gun nut. My gun I use when I'm camping and road tripping. So I have 2. I have my M&P Shield, which is a concealed carry, 9mm. And then I have my favorite. Now this is my favorite. I have more guns than this, but my favorite one, my tried and true, I take with me when I go camping, I go hiking. A lot of times when I go out of state, is my High Point 45. It's one of the cheapest, ugliest pistols. But dang it, I take it. If I can go a place where they're shooting, and a lot of places you can actually shoot, never failed me, never jammed up on me. I paid $60-70, kind of as a joke, for this 45 years ago from a pawn shop, right? Never jammed, takes a beating. Sometimes I forget to even clean it. And I take it right back out when I'm out camping, and it shoots without a hiccup. What more can I ask? And it's in a 45 for me personally. So let's get off of that, but that's my favorite. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy. It's nothing fancy. I'm not going to take $1,000 gun with me to go hiking and camping. That may jam on me. I may have to baby it. But that's just one thing. If you're not into guns, I totally get it. I understand. I'm not pushing you towards them. I always recommend this, though, when you're hiking, camping, basic road tripping, you're stopping somewhere, always have you pepper spray. Don't just have one, have 2. Have one somewhere in your car or in your backpack, somewhere, and then you have one on your person. Men or women. I'm a pretty tough guy. I'm 20 years in the business of talking to people or putting my hands on them. Never to hurt anybody, but people sometimes don't have no sense in my job. But anyway, there's situations you can't get into. You can't be having someone accosting you with 5 of their buddies and trying to play the tough man, because those 4 or 5 guys, the only reason they're saying something to you because there's 4 or 5 of them. So, why put yourself in that situation where someone's trying to, so you calmly, whatever. You say whatever you got to say and you move on. Don't approach anybody, but having pepper spray and having stuff like that on you gives you the ability to fight or flight. As a woman, say a smaller male, or just someone who's a nice person. It's not about fighting and all that. I really wish I met more people like that in life. In my business, it's not like that, but just that nice person. Like, you know, you could ask them, you know, where's the nearest coffee shop? You know, oh yeah, the nearest coffee shop is over there. Yeah, try the mocha. It's really great. Those type of people, instead of people worried about what you got or jealous about what you got or how you look. Give me those people any day. I really want to work with mostly and be around mostly people like that. And I do meet them on vacation, lots of people. And it's really nice to meet nice human beings. But not everyone's nice. There's a lot of jerks. So always have your pepper spray. I'd recommend having a flashlight in your car, your van, or whatever you have. I would get like a Maglite. I don't have a Maglite. I have one like I want to say it's an Ozark. Maybe I'll put a link in if I can find it. It's like a Maglite. It looks like a club, but it is a flashlight. I've had it for years and it works great. The flashlight still works on it. Never used it on anybody. I ain't never had to do anything to anybody. But have that in your vehicle. I recommend having a pocket knife. You should always have something like this, because if you're camping, you're hiking and stuff like that, you got to have something on you. Pepper spray and a little pocket knife. What if you got lost? What if you had to, you know, get some wood together or make some kindling or something, or anything? You needed to open a can, you know, just a basic little pocket knife, good little one. Have that in your vehicle. But keep you some pepper spray, at the very least. I call it keep people away from me stuff, spray. You can go about your day. Someone, you know, getting to, hey, shh, my eyes. You know, if you move on, you go about your day, you know, fight or flight, whatever it is. So that's another thing. But safety, just being aware of your surroundings. Have you something that equalizes it a little bit more. I ain't talking about a gun. I got those, but I'm not going to recommend them to anybody. You know what you need and what you don't need. Pepper spray. Never let people know what you got. You know, even if you got it, make sure it's always, you can access it. It won't do you any good in your purse if you're going into a dark gas station at night, which you shouldn't be going in anyway because you got awareness. But making sure that you have it where you can quickly get to it and get away. That's the main thing. You want to get away because someone's trying to ruin your vacation or your road trip. You're not going to allow it to happen. You're going to do what you have to do, get away, and go about your day and get to the beach or wherever you're going and get back to your family. Just remind yourself, people that act that way, they don't have nothing to lose. They most likely, 99% of the time, do not have good jobs. I can't be out in the streets fighting people and beating people up and stuff like that because you know why? Because I have a good job. I have a mortgage. My job, what I do, allows me to do the other things I want to do. These people that are like that don't have anything to look forward to. They've probably never been out of their town. So they would like you to be like them. So don't be like. So we covered safety, awareness, knowing your environment, of course, and planning out which way you're going to go. One thing also is making sure you're letting people know when you're leaving. Don't be like me sometimes where I've taken off and went across country just out of the blue for a few days and trying to surprise people with pictures and trying to have them figure out where I'm at. Don't be that guy. Me. Let people know, hey, I'm going to here, I'm going to Washington State, this is the way I'm going to go. Because if anything happened, man, so people know where to track you down to try and find you. If anything, heaven forbid, anything happened. So let other people know that you're friends. Not some stranger. Oh, okay, I'll make sure to stalk her over there. No, make sure you let people you know that. Just taking those little steps like that makes for a better road trip. Like I said, you'll thank me later, making sure you get your gas in the bigger towns, like the Mothers, where the Mothers and the Flying J's are. Now, with that being said, I go to small towns during the day, especially when I'm in areas that have like tourist attractions are near it. So like Oregon, for example, I'll stop in the small towns around the beach in the beautiful forest areas during the day. I've never had a problem, but that's during the day. Am I going to go there at 1 a.m. when the bar's letting out and you have someone who's never seen nobody like me try and say something to me and then I say something back to them? No, why put myself in that situation? But one time I went back to Indiana. I stopped in this little, what they call sundown towns. If you don't know what sundown towns are like towns that have no diversity. They're old racist towns and they do exist. and I had to stop for gas, and I took back, I had a new Dodge Challenger SRT around the time they first came out, black on black on black. It was a pretty evil car, black rims, everything. It was the type of car, if it was falling, you'd think it was a horror movie where no one was driving. That's how mean and evil it was. I spent an hour talking to some dude with no front teeth about cars, and he probably never really had any conversation with nobody that looked like me. And we talked and talked about cars and talked about my car, and it was a good conversation. And I think he got something out of it. Me personally, I grew up around people like that. It's no big deal, but I think he got something out of it to see, wow, we do have something in common. And that was about it, you know? But watch those little towns like that, if it's not in tourist areas, later when you're driving late at night, whether you're a person of color, like I said, a woman, and I'm not saying anything bad about women in regards to thinking like, oh, y'all can't take care of yourself. I work in a business where I work with a lot of women that take care of themselves really well, but there's always someone looking for someone they think is a mark or prey, no matter they know you or they don't know you. So just having that common sense and having stuff at your disposal that allows you to equal out the threat and move on with your day. And men, men of any color, just common sense, guys. It'll take you a long way. It's an example of this. There's this bad area, used to be a bad area in Denver, and I was going to work. I worked late, and I saw this guy wobbling down the street. He was a college student, clearly. He was a college student, probably from Denver University, wobbling down the street in this bad neighborhood. I know this hood. This is a hood area. And I'm looking at him like, dude, you're by yourself? You're going to get robbed. That's not common sense. That's not. And just using your head and enjoy, and don't be afraid of road trips. They're a blast, but plan it out. And one last thing, I'll leave you with one note though. When I plan out my road trips, I mess up on many times. I tell people, well, you're planning it, especially if you're going on long ones. So like my last one where I went to Oregon, which is like 1,200 miles from Denver, somewhere around there. I should have planned out those times I was going to stop. I drove past so many cool things that I could have stopped for an hour or two to check out, whether it's the falls or it's I could have took a day and stayed in Salt Lake City and Antelope Island and relaxed for a day, had a shower and all that, and then kept on my way and also rejuvenated myself. Check for sites in that area, like touristy sites are just cool things people talk about to stop and check out, take a break from the road. Usually those areas are going to be more touristy, so of course it's safer, more police presence, more diverse people going to be doing the same thing too. Take a breather, check out things, but don't be afraid of road trips. Just prepare for them. Make sure you got enough food, water, just in case there's a town you're really hungry, but this town's suspect. Well, I know I got some apples, or I got something in my car. Don't not have anything. Flashlight, like I said, get you a Maglite and maybe get you a little bitty light too. Also, or a headlamp. Those are pretty cheap and they last forever. And you can use them for everything, especially for camping. I used to heck out for camping. And like I said, pepper spray. And keep you a little backpack in case you broke down somewhere where there's not a lot of people and you might need to throw some water and some food in there to hike somewhere else if you don't have cell signal, to go get help. Nothing's fancy, it's just some little cheap backpack you got thrown in your trunk or whatever. I hope this helps some people that like to do road trips. Road trips are awesome. I have a lot of fun on road trips. They're really exciting. The best part of my road trip is I can't wait to get to my destination. The worst part of my road trips is having to leave, to be honest with you. This is Frugal Panda. Everyone have a good day.